When we started the band, we were really terrible, really terrible. And I think, in a way, it was good that we didn't know how bad we were. I think we would have quit probably, honestly. But you kind of don't know, and you keep on going at it, and you do get better at it. But for sure, I think if you feel like you have to be good right away, that's not going to happen for most people.
How did you get to the stage when you thought, okay, this is good, I can make something out of it?
A couple of years ago.
Who was the first one who told you that you are good enough to play as Offspring and you believed him or her?
Oh, gosh. Things started happening all of a sudden in like 1994 where we were in the newspaper and that sort of thing, and that was kind of a validation that we were getting somewhere.
Wait a moment, that was a validation for your mom?
That's right.
The Los Angeles newspaper?
That's right.
That was the moment?
Yeah. I know, for everybody it was different. I think for my parents, seeing something like a newspaper felt very official, and they were like, oh, wow, I guess you guys really are going somewhere now.
I imagine the scene. Mom is sitting in the living room or in the kitchen, ready to read the newspaper. Oh, you are here. Maybe you will do something good.
Maybe you'll do, yeah, maybe, yeah. For Noodles, it was, for his dad, it was when we went to Europe for the first time. He said, wow, you're going to Europe. You must be really good now, or something. So.
But your parents supported you in the career.
They did. My parents were supportive. I think they wanted it to be a phase. They're saying, this is cute and everything, your band thing, but can you please go back to school and finish your PhD?
Yeah, that was in 1994 when you asked the manager, can I do school as well as the band? Because you started your PhD studies in 1994 when Smash came out. It was a global success. He said no.
He said there's no way you're going to be able to do both of these at the same time. You're going to have to go on the road for a couple years.
What did your mom say?
She was upset. She didn't like it. Well, she didn't, none of us knew at the moment whether it was really going to be successful. We just knew that we had to give it the shot then. And it was the right thing to do in retrospect, but it was tough.
Well, back then you had a little bit different plans because you wanted to become a cardiac surgeon. You wanted to be a medical doctor.
Yes.
You applied for the medical school twice and failed at the exams. Later on you said, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, failed the exams. What do you think now, fortunately or unfortunately?
Well, I'm impressed that you've really done your homework. You know so much about me.
You are the guest of Hyde Park Civilization. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I wanted to be a surgeon. I went to university as a biology major, and I did not get accepted into medical school. So I went back the next year, and I got a master's degree, and I reapplied, and I still didn't get into medical school. And I think that maybe inside, subconsciously, there was sort of a hesitation. I was really reluctant to make that commitment because I knew that I would have to give up music completely, I think. When you become a medical student, there really isn't time for anything else. So I think maybe it just kind of worked out that way, maybe. I might have sabotaged myself a little bit.
The second career you were considering was up there because you wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it would be cool.
Well, you wanted to go to Air Force Academy.
That's true.
Force.
Yeah, after high school, I was accepted. Well, I was going to be accepted to the Air Force Academy, but they said that I couldn't fly because I wear glasses or contact lenses. So I thought, if I can't fly, I don't want to go there. So I'll go to a university instead.
Well, now you fly. You have your Anarchy Airlines.
It all worked out for the best, actually, didn't it?
You flew solo. You flew solo around the world.
I did, yeah.
Did you feel alone sometimes?
Yes, I liked it.
Do you understand that you are in front of a crowd of thousands of people?
Yeah. You know, I bought a jet. I fly a small jet, and we brought it over to Europe a few times on tour, and it won't go across the ocean. I have to go up to Greenland and Iceland and come over. And so I had done the transatlantic crossing like 3 times, and I felt comfortable flying internationally and flying in Europe. And I thought, well, I could just keep on going and go the rest of the way around the world. And so that's what I did.
So you said, okay, I handled majority, so, you know, the last part.
Yeah, the last part.
It's gonna be no trouble at all.
No trouble.
I like the attitude.
Yeah.
You were introduced as a student to molecular biology, and you found viruses fascinating. Why do viruses fascinate you?
I think it's really interesting how they work. There's a real thing about them, and I think there's also something which is kind of like the way they go in and invade your body and, you know, destroy your cells, or something kind of evil about it in a way, which is kind of fascinating, right? Like they just go in and they're there to mess you up, right? So, and I also think that the advances that we made in science make it really great that that we can combat this. And so I just thought it was really cool from the beginning.
What do you think about the importance of science in the world we are living in? What's the significance of science?
I mean, it's huge, of course, right? I mean, it's how we progress. It's how we, you know, have gotten to where we are.
What would we be and what would we have without science?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I mean, we'd be in a different place for sure.
Would we be dead?
Well, no, but it would be more like, you know, the Middle Ages or whatever, right? Where there was so much, people lived with superstition and all that kind of stuff because they didn't know what was really going on.
What were you doing during the pandemic as a guy who is a singer, who can't perform, is fascinated by viruses?
Right? That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, I couldn't go to the lab either, but you know, what we did actually is we got together as a band and we practiced. We were that bored. We actually practiced our instruments, right? And it really helped. And we worked on, we finished up the last record, Let the Bad Times Roll. So.
Did you have the, you know, the itch to go into the lab and work, for example, on the vaccine?
That's not really what I focused on.
Yeah, that's not your area of expertise.
Yeah, that's right.
Your area of expertise is this. Could you read the title, please? This is your thesis.
This is my thesis title. It was The Discovery of Mature MicroRNA Sequences Within the Protein Coding Regions of Global HIV-1 Genomes. Yeah, and it goes on from there, but thank you. Thank you.
Predictions of novel mechanisms for viral infections and pathogenicity.
That's
right. That's the whole title of 183 pages.
Yes.
What comes to your mind when you see it?
That was a lot of work, man. That was a lot of work.
Why did you choose to study HIV virus?
I'm really interested in viruses, but HIV is particularly interesting just in the way it works. It has a very complicated life cycle where it integrates into your DNA, which is different than other viruses, and that makes it especially gnarly and fascinating to me. And I wanted to see if I could do something to contribute to the research on it.
You stressed out immediately that you did not want to come up with a cure, that's not the task that you laid ahead yourself. What did you want to add to the knowledge of HIV?
I think that's it, the idea of just adding something to the reservoir of knowledge. Eventually it all comes around and someone will assimilate it all, and to hopefully to create a real cure. What
role did the illness, the HIV, played in your decision making concerning that Freddie Mercury was the patient? Did it affect you?
Oh, well, it affected everybody for sure. I mean, Queen's one of our idols for sure. So, yeah, that was years before.
You came back to do this work after 20 years. You left school. Why did you come back?
I always wanted to finish it. I knew in my heart that I needed to go back and finish it. I just wasn't sure when the right time would be. And all of a sudden, it just kind of felt right after a while, so I did.
What did you say to your advisor, Dr. Surya Rashid, when you told her, okay, I want to leave, I want to do my music, not my science? What did you tell her?
You know, I was trying to pursue music and my studies at the same time, and I felt like at school they would probably get rid of me if they knew that I was in a band, right? They would think that, oh, this guy's not serious, we'll give your position to somebody else. So I hid it from them. And when the band was finally on MTV and I couldn't hide it anymore, I went...
You mean that your professors were not, you know, in the clubs in the evening, during night?
Yeah, right.
In the front row? No?
No, so I told my boss, and she said, why didn't you tell me you were in a band? You know, she was like, she was not so much angry at me, but disappointed that I wasn't more upfront with her.